Hello there everyone, so we are finally together with a build video. I must have been annoying with my simple videos, but you will see that they will be of use in here, right? That the video will be somewhat shorter because of them, because I will not go into detail. And I'm not a video editing viz, as you might have noticed. That's me being polite to myself. So I have no clue, right? And I don't know about the cards thingies, but I have been seeing them. If I can manage it, I will try to put up cards. For example, when I am discussing the blink stuff, the preparatory videos that I did, because chances are that there will be some people that might have not seen those videos, and I will put a card there if I can. I will try, and then you can look it up. So guys. We do have an Essence Drain Contagion Lich here. So let's get started. So, just a quick preview of the stats that you can see here. About 10k energy shield, some amount of life, which we will be getting into. So this build is, I like to term it as, it's a Chaos Inoculation build, CI build, without the CI. So you don't care about your life, but your life gives you a few things, and that's why you have some amount of life and not CI. So let me now show you. Let's start with the gems. That's the most important. So we have some implicit. That's not important. We have Sigil of Power. We do have a special Sigil of Power video. I should be putting that card here. In Sigil of Power, we have persistence, so the duration goes even longer. At this point, I think the duration is above 30 seconds. It's beautiful. There are certain breakpoints for Sigil of Power, which I have told you about. Mine is 27, but that's necessary. I believe 25 was enough. You can refer to my video for further information. Okay, now we have Essence Drain, which is our main skill. We want this as high as possible. I think I am one level off in today's pre-patch 021. After patch 021, I think you could get 3 more skill points. What I'm talking about is that you can get 2 sockets on your wand, and you will be able to put the new rune in that gives you +1 all spell skills each. And the only level that I'm missing pre-patch 021 is I have a +2 Prism of Belief instead of a +3, which we will get to. So long story short, you want this as close as 40 as possible. Okay. So we have Considered Casting, Swift Affliction, Chaos Mastery. These are a bit, these are, I would say, about 100%, right? Almost every single player uses these. Because we can't upgrade our weapons damage or something to scale damage. Our damage scaling comes from the base skill level that we have on the Essence Drain, because that's the only multiplicative modifier that we get. So we want it as high as possible. Well, actually, if we are being very strict, no, it's not. You cannot surpass 38 at this point, I think, at least, using logical means, right? Okay. We have Deliberation here. That is up for discussion, right? I mean, it does make you a little bit slower, but it makes your damage go higher. I like it. It makes you a little bit slow, though. There is that. And Chain, I would definitely suggest this, right? So the thing is, guys, 50% less damage from hits. The thing with Essence Drain is Essence Drain does a minor hit, right? And the damage over time component is your real damage. So losing the 50% damage on the hit is not that big a deal. Let me just prove it to you. So the DPS of Essence Drain is 12k, right? That is the hit. That is the projectile, as you can see. So average damage per use is 10k, right? If I take it off, it goes up to 20k. Now watch this. 73,000, right? So what matters if I lose 12,000 damage there, right? The skill does that damage in 1/6 of a second, right? 0.16, 0.17 seconds is the time it takes to deal the damage that we lose from the hit. And chain makes the combo very nice. You know, I had this when leveling. So for example, guys, you do Contagion on some characters, right? And then you cast your Essence Drain on them, and some overzealous mob goes in between you, right? And then you can't bring the combo together. That can get very annoying, right? With chain, it splits twice, right? So getting the combo going is much more likely. But so what is the alternative? The alternative is some people are using Rage and some people are using Extraction. I would definitely speak against Extraction, because Extraction, what Extraction does is, so you see the gain extra chaos damage, right? I'm sure you are familiar, you have it on the wands. That is not good for this build most of the time. Why? Because that damage is added to only the hit component and not the damage over time component. And as you just saw, the damage over component is the big one, right? So for example, guys, let me take this off. Let me put this in. 33k. Still, barely half a second's worth of damage, right? It's not that big a deal. So I would definitely not suggest Extraction. And the range is good, right? It's not bad. But the energy shield cost, we will already have an energy shield cost thanks to Lich. Let me put this in. I mean, it does start becoming a nuisance, right? It can be problematic. And keep in mind the situation that I told you about bringing the combo together is always real, right? Chain reduces that chance by a huge amount, right? And also, if you have chain, if you have like 2 or 3 monsters running about, you don't have to do the contagion at all. You can just chain, right? Chain will affect all 3 targets and you will kill them. Yeah. So by the way, I have been doing spoilers on the build. So the combo is Essence Drain and Contagion. So Essence Drain has a modest hit and a very nasty damage over time component. Contagion has an extremely modest damage over time, but component, not companion. But the thing is, when you do Contagion on a target, and then you do other damage over time effects, and when the target dies, Contagion spreads that damage, right? So you do Contagion on something, then you do Essence Drain on that thing, right? And everything will just die, right? It's very nice. I mean, sometimes it's extremely satisfactory. I will try doing it. Sometimes you start off a ritual, right? You put up 1 Contagion, you put up 1 Essence Drain, and you don't have to lift a finger, right? It just kills everything. And in ritual, they spawn over time. So the Contagion spreads to targets, right? And when it's killing those targets, other targets will spawn. But that's, of course, chance. It doesn't happen always, but when it happens, it's very, very enjoyable. About the tier, by the way, I normally speak about the tier at the beginning, but I thought I would put it in the thumbnail, so that would be there. I would be saying somewhere around A-ish tier, I would say. It's a decent build. So for Contagion, we have Intense Agony. This is a bit odd, the specific gem. What it does is, guys, so you killed something, right, that has Essence Drain and Contagion on it. So Contagion spread the Essence Drain, and this increases Essence Drain's damage by 50% when it spreads. If you have to refresh it, then it won't. But of course, guys, you shouldn't be refreshing the Essence Drain against normal targets. Maybe dangerous rares. I mean, if you have to refresh your Essence Drain against normal targets, then it's time to level up a bit, level the skill up a bit. Unleash gives it seals. Reoccur, that's useful. Magnified effect, very, very important, because the thing is, guys, Contagion spread range is low, right? And for example, I have some targets here, I have some targets here, let's say, right, the left column and the right column, and I do the Essence Contagion here, I do the Essence Drain, right, and some monsters are, of course, running towards me, right? And in the time that it kills, you hope that they are close to you, so the contagion spreads, right? And that's why that range is very, very important. And I know it feels weird when you are using single target skills, but area of effect is extremely important. You will see that my anoint is a pure area of effect. I will also suggest some alternatives there. So my radius is 2.8 meters here, right? And I have a killed recently area of effect anoint, so that goes to about 3 meters, right? And it will get to, I think, 3.1 or 3.2 meters when I fully finalize the build at level about 94. I will show you. I am not right now level 91. We have Arcane Surge and Hinder. So Hinder, Magnified Effect, Unleash, and Intensive, I would say are pretty much fixed, right? Everyone is getting using these. Arcane Surge. For Arcane Surge, we could have Arcane Tempo Replacement, right? Or for Intensive, we could have Arcane Tempo Replacement. These are not bad. There are some people that use the Arcane Surge in Essence Drain, and but the thing is, guys, Contagion is the support skill, right? I want to sacrifice my damage from Contagion and not Essence Drain, because take a look at Contagion's damage, guys. It should be like 0. Take a look at this. 2.4k. Take a look at this. 73k, right? So now Contagion, you can safely assume Contagion is 0 damage, right? You do not care about Contagion's damage. So why is my Contagion leveled up, right? Because I could have just used the level 3 Contagion. As you can see, I'm using a level 16 Contagion. So why am I doing that, right? I will explain that in due time. It has to do with Arcane Surge. Or shall I do it just now? I think I should do it just now because right now is the time. So guys, when you spend a total of 100 mana, 100% of your mana on a skill that has Arcane Surge in it, you gain Arcane Surge. And so at this point I have calculated it, right? And with my bonus skill levels and my base skill level added up, I have 442 mana cost. So guys, I have calculated this for triggering the mana surge when I do 3 casts. So let me just show you. 1, 2, okay, that's because I have done earlier. Let me do it again. 1, 2, and 3. See, it refreshed. So when I do 3 casts, I gain Contagion. So why did I not go for 2 casts? Because, mana cost goes quite bonkers, right? I could have used a level 19 or something. At that point, the cost goes insane, 600 mana or something. And sometimes, guys, the combo just doesn't go off, right? You will have to do multiple Contagions, right? To save myself the mana flasking and mana problems, I went for 3, right? So you will have to calculate this for yourself, right? And I am planning on doing a video for Arcane Surge, but I have been spamming you guys with simple videos. I'm like, okay, let me give them the build video first, then I'll do the let me do the D&D. Let me do the build video first, and then I will give them the Arcane Surge video. But the idea is, you take a look at your skill level, you take a look at your added levels, you take a look at the cost, right? And then that cost has to be, above 1/3 or 1/2 of your mana, right? You could also go for a quarter, but that's just too low. 1/3 is fine, because then the uptime would be not very good, right? I would have gone for a half. So an option is going for a somewhat lower mana and triggering the Arcane Surge with 2 casts only. So for example, imagine I use level 17, I will have about a 500 mana cost, and if I have about 1,000 mana, it will trigger once every second cast. That could have been better, but I also wanted a pool that's enough to do, whatever I want to do, because the mana costs are pretty terrific here. Let me just show you. See, I had to wait just a very little amount of time to do Dark Effigy, Essence Drain, and Contagion. Right? If I had 900 mana, that was a problem. So guys, why are we able to do this? Right? I will explain that later, but why and how are we able to do this? Because guys, normally, caster builds have a lot of mana, so their regen can be high. Our mana regen is based on our life. That's why we do not have, a very high amount of mana like the other caster builds do. Right? We'll get to it. Dark Effigy is our single target. So Essence Drain and Contagion that's it for mapping. Right? If you are mapping, Essence Drain and Contagion are the thing. What do we have? So we have Dark Effigy next. Concentrated Effect, Control Destruction, and Venom, Overabundance, Arcane Tempo, which will allow us to put up 2 of these at the same time. Their mana cost is rather insane. Sigil of Power is also meant for single target. Mapping is Essence Drain, Contagion only. Despair, Chaos Resistance, Reducing Curse, and we will also have it in Blasphemy. I'll explain. Let's go over Blasphemy first, I guess. So guys, Blasphemy allows us to curse enemies by sacrificing spirit without having to do the cast. So every single curse you put in there reserves 60 spirit, which goes down by 10% when you do the quality on it. So 54 spirit reserved per curse, right? So the amount of spirit that we want on this build is a minimum of 138. If you want to go up, you can go up as much as you like, right? 148 would be nice, which I will explain. So what do we have here? We have Despair, and we have Temporal Chains. So Temporal Chains slows enemies, right? Which gives us a little bit of a moving time. Despair curse enemies and reduce their chaos resistance. We have Ritualistic Curse, Encumbrance, and Hex Bloom here. So the curse is spread. Ritualistic Curse gives us more delay but more area of effect. Of course, we don't care about the increased delay because Blasphemy does it automatically. There is no delay. And the way that I can do 2 curses on enemies is that I have the Keystone that allows us to curse twice. Whispers of Doom, I believe it was called. The other spirit reservation that we use in the primary weapon slot is Withering Presence. This is nice. This withers enemies, and wither is a debuff that increases chaos damage taken by 5%, and it stacks up to 10 times. This is pretty good. If you are having problems, I believe it was called Ice Armor. You could switch this in favor of Ice Armor, but I believe that was the name. Can I find it? Armor? Arctic Armor, sorry. That's the one. But I wouldn't suggest doing that. Convalescence and Blink are for the offhand thingies. This is again the time where we need the video, right? I did a specific video for this. So guys, you can go into a skill and you can tell the game which weapon set that skill should be used with, right? And you turn off weapon set 2 for Blasphemy and Withering Presence, and you turn on weapon set 2 and turn off weapon set 1 with Convalescence and Blink, so you can do them. Why? Because Convalescence is a skill that allows us to recharge our inner shield even if we are taking damage, and it doesn't get interrupted by damage. So guys, what you do is you use the Convalescence, right? Then even if you switch back to your main weapon, the charge has started, so it will not be interrupted, right? So we basically are cheating 30 spirit here. Blink, when you have to cover some distance or you have to run away, you just blink. And there is a nice little trick with blinking, guys. So Blink is in the second weapon set. Despair is tied to our second weapon set. So what we do is you cast Despair and Blink, right? That's simple. But the good thing is you do not actually have to wait for Despair to kick in. So what you can do is you can press Despair, and without actually casting Despair, you blink immediately. Let me show you. See this? I mean, I can basically, let me go back to the main weapon. I start casting Despair, which forces me to change my weapon, right? And as soon as I change my weapon, I have access to blink, right? Bang, right? This is just a blink that it has a longer caster time by a quarter of a second, and blink's cast time is something like that, so it's half a second. It's pretty good, right? For example, in ritual you are cornered and you do not care about the despair, but you want to blink, and yeah, that's how you go. It's pretty nice. So, and in convalescence we have clarity, second wind, and cool-headed. I mean, I just have the spirit there. I didn't have it, so normally clarity we want to have it in our main weapon set for the mana regen, because mana is a bit of a problem. In blink I have ingenuity and strong-hearted. As I said, these are clarity and strong-hearted are just there because I have spirit in the secondary weapon set, and incinerate, guys. So that would be a little bit confusing to some of you, I'm sure. So the reason for this skill here is, guys, I have life tap and I have glaciation and rising tempest. These are on purpose just to increase the cost. So what's this about, guys? Thing is, we have some passive nodes in our tree that benefit us from having low life. But the thing is, guys, you cannot really go in front of monsters and wait for them to bring you down to low life. So you have to do it on your own. And I do have another video for this. Basically what you do is you remove your energy shield, and as a Lich, your life is not able to be modified when you do have energy shield. So when you remove your energy shield, you can change your life, and then you start casting that incinerate. I won't be able to cast it now because my life is not able to modify, right? So that trick doesn't work. You actually have to pay the life to cast the thing, right? If you cannot pay the life, you cannot cast the thing. But when I remove my energy shield, I can cast this. So guys, for example, I died and I have full life, right? And I want to go to low life. What I do is I remove my energy shield, I cast incinerate until my life is below 35% of my total, right? And then I can enjoy, sit back and relax and enjoy the low life benefits. And nothing can override this rule. Boom. See? So you have to calculate it. My life is 1596 and 35% is 558.6. So I have to be below 559 life, then it will work. And we do not care about too much of our life. As you can see, our energy shield is our main line of defense. So you could even bring that down to 1. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So it doesn't have to be incinerate, but I would, of course, suggest a channeling skill, whatever channeling skill that you have. And the way that you remove your energy shield is, you can do something lame and remove every single piece of equipment that you have energy shield on, or as I told you in the video, you can put on the garbage unique helmet called Visage of Aya. Visage of Aya. So this allocates Eldritch Battery, which removes your energy shield. So you put it on, your energy shield goes away, and you can do the thing, right? As you can see, my life is actually increasing now. See? That's it. Yeah. So that's how you bring your life low. Okay. Now for attributes. For attributes, we want enough strength and enough dexterity to equip our support gems, and the rest don't have to go into intelligence. But I have been having mana problems, so this intelligence's minimum would be 205. This build finally for the first time is not very demanding in attributes because it doesn't want any strength or dexterity, and the intelligence is 205 to equip level 20 skill gems, right? And we do not care about attributes other than that, so you do not need to get attributes on your items. So let me show you my mana regen, by the way. This is pretty important. So with Arcane Surge, I go up to almost 300, which is pretty nice. Okay. Let's take a look at the gear. We have Atziri here. So let me just show you this first. This is pretty important. Your life cannot change while you have energy. So that's why we are doing some of the things that we are. And this brings the extremely powerful benefit of damage taken by passive energy shield mechanic, guys. So we have that, right? So normally, guys, for example, you have 100 damage coming your way, right? And 11%, which is 11, bypasses the energy shield and hits your life, right? That's what that series says. The thing is, because our life cannot change while we have energy shield, what happens is 100 damage comes your way, you take the 89, the 11 bypasses your energy shield and goes into your life, nothing happens because your life cannot change while you have energy shield. So this is a straight up percentage damage reduction mechanic. It's extremely powerful. And there is also a passive that does this. If I can find it here somewhere. Yes. So guys, I have 16% damage taken by passive energy shield, which means, I have 16% damage reduction because that damage goes into nothing. Bleeds do not hurt us. Poisons do not hurt us. Anything that bypasses energy shield, it doesn't do anything to us. It's great. So, you have to, if you can, try to look for an Atziri that has more than 10% damage taken by passes, right? That's straight up damage reduction. How much does the character cost? I would say approximately 30 divine, the way that mine is. We want area of effect. That is a very cheap talisman. Bear, yeah. Very, very cheap. I don't know how much it is. Few exalted, maybe. So you want to get yourself an Atziri. Sadly, mine doesn't have quality. Try to get one with quality because we have a lot of energy shield bonus. Right? It does make a difference. What we want is as high damage taken by passive energy shield, right? 12% if we can. Gain 18% of life as extra energy shield. That stuff. If you go that way, it would cost like 8 divine or something. Yeah, so that is a bit of a price. This one is 2 divine for reference. For the amulet, we want +3 spell skills and spirit. Spirit can be obtained from the chest or the amulet. I thought the spirit was the amulet was the better alternative, so I went for that. As much resistance as you can. Because the build is not demanding in attributes, you do not have to get attributes anywhere, right? Maybe you can get a few, but you will see mine. You just don't need attributes at all, right? It's a very nice build because some builds are very demanding and you have to get the intelligence to strength from somewhere. We just don't have to here. Okay, so spirit +3, and sadly my energy shield is garbage, as you can see, 21%. And I do have an interesting anointment here. It's called Primal Growth. Yeah, somewhere over there. Yes, this one. So 10% increase area of effect for attacks does literal nothing for me because I'm not attacking, but 20% increase area of effect if you kill recently. That brings my contagion spread radius up to 3 meters, right? And the alternative for this I would suggest is this. So I'm gonna find it. This, yes. Spiral into Insanity. That is the alternative. Nice chaos damage and increased global defenses, which will give you more energy shield. This is definitely a contender, but the combo being going uninterrupted is very, very useful. Okay. For the focus, sadly, as you can see, my focus has garbage energy shield. I mean, it just goes too expensive. So, you want spell damage, chaos damage, cast speed if you can, +2 spell skills is a non-negotiable, right? So as you are seeing here, I went for spell damage, chaos damage, and +2, but I just couldn't get the cast speed. It goes very expensive. This is about, again, 2 divine, I think. The amulet is for 5 divine maybe, something like that. It's been some time since I got that one. Let's take a look at the weapon. On the weapon, we want +5 chaos, obviously. Spell damage, chaos damage, cast speed if we can. And obviously a socket. Sadly, mine was cheap. so I don't have a socket in it. And the socket will be even more meaningful when patch 2.1 arrives, because instead of 30% spell damage, we will be able to socket +1 all spell skills, right? But I wouldn't go for that for this build, because I'm going to guess that they will be pretty expensive. So if the character is worth 30 divine, why would I spend like 10 divine on my socket, right? We'll see how it goes, of course. But yeah, try to get one with a socket. But the +5 and +2, so do not allow yourself to lose any skill levels here. We need to get as close to 40 as we can. I mean, I know that mana is going to be an issue, but we have the mana flask. You will observe that I rarely drink the mana flask. I can get it going. For the chest, we want as high energy shield as we can, and whatever we can get out of it, right? Because the build doesn't require attributes, it's fine. We just go for resistances. The rings are, so as you can see, just to get damage, I went for ingenuity. Resistances, that dexterity is accidental. I didn't want it, right? I wanted life and chaos damage. In here, I have high chaos damage and high chaos resistance, so I could cap my chaos resistance. And of course, ingenuity, it's important which ring you put where. I went for 24-36%. So these are about 3 divine, 4 divine. That's 1 divine, I think. Yeah, this was cheap. The chest was 5 divine or so, something, I believe. I'm not very sure. The glove is absolutely worthless. This is, I don't know, like 20 exalted maybe. You want a Dodres tenure with 15% reduced cast speed, right? That's the perfect roll. And you want 2 sockets, so you can put in 2 of these Serpent Talismans, so you can get increased 10% increased curse magnitudes. Yeah, we are using some talismans here. This does give us 100% increased spell damage. It's pretty nice. And this is very cheap. And for the boots, definitely we want 35% movement speed, as high energy shield as we can get, and enough resistance to max our resistances. And stun threshold is of course pretty welcome. For the charms, we want freeze, stun, and slow. And of course, if you can get it, the fall of the axe, the unique silver charm, is very good here. Gives us onslaught, but I think it costs like 60 divine now. I'm not going to pay double my character's worth in divine for 1 charm. Yeah. For life flask is just an ornament. We don't even care. We will not be using our life flask. The mana flask, and guys, this garbage flask, right? I'm sure you have seen these flasks. This is where this flask shines, because the thing is, our life is not able to be modified. When we have energy shield, this means we can use this flask at no cost, right? I mean, let me just show you. See, it doesn't touch my life, right? Because it cannot, right? My life cannot be changed. So you can grab these. These are pretty cheap compared to the 79-80% recovery. So it recovers more, and it also costs less. And the suffix is not that important, because you will not be drinking this too many times if stuff is going correctly. So about the skills, so we have this one first. That's why our life becomes important. Our mana doesn't regenerate based on our mana, but it regenerates based on 6% of our life. That's why I refer to this build as the Chaos Inoculation build that doesn't allocate Chaos Inoculation. I mean, we don't care about our life, but the life dictates our mana regen, so that's why we want some life, right? We cannot have this life very, very low. That's why we went for life on the rings, right? And your life cannot change by damage. This is insane, of course, right? It makes you immune to so many things. You can get a lot of things without any drawbacks. You can utilize low life notables right? Permanently. As you can see, I'm permanently on low life. We have this one. Just put your best jewel in there. Energy shield area. As you can see, I have been working on area quite a bit, and you know, you barely get to 3 meters. And finally, we have this. Do not allocate this one early on, right? Get like 7-8k energy shield. So everything costs an additional 3% of energy shield. We deal 30% more damage, and our energy shield spending this way does not interrupt our recharge, right? So take a look at this. As you can see, I am spending energy shield here. Okay, now it's time for a map, I guess. Oh, sorry, there is one thing I haven't discussed. The offhand. In the offhand, we want a chiming staff because that's what allows us to use Sigil of Power. And you have to take a look at the breakpoints and get your increased spell skills that way. Lightning skills, etc. doesn't work. You have to get all spell skills. Depends on what you're using, but generally +4 would be sufficient to arrive at the point that I have. The point that I am at is I get 16% spell damage per stage up to 64%. That helps. So guys, how do we play? Mapping is very simple. Contagion, Essence Drain until everything dies. Then we move on. Single target is a little bit different. What we do is we put up the Dark Effigies. We put up the Sigil of Power, then we put up the Dark Effigies. We do Contagion and Essence Drain, right? And then we do Despair. And thing is, guys, all the guys out there talk about snapshotting, but there is something that I guess I misunderstood. As you can see, these stages are displayed here. So thing is, guys, the way that people talk gives you the impression of do your stuff, then do the curse, right, and then go back to your main weapon and spam Essence Drain for some more damage. That's not how it works, right? Unless I have misunderstood something. The moment that you go back to your primary weapon, the weaker Despair from Blasphemy will override your stronger one, right? So what you have to do is you have to do your stuff, right? Then do the curse and stay in the secondary weapon slot, right? So as I said, the deal is Sigil of Power, double Dark Effigy, Essence Drain, Contagion, and then finally we do Despair. This Despair is tied to the second weapon set, and we wait until our stuff runs their course. Then we have to go back to the primary weapon set and refresh the Dark Effigies again. That's how it goes. Okay, so let me find the map with boss. Okay, just whatever. Boss. That one is, we don't have access to it. That one. Okay. Also Delirium as well. Okay, let's go. Wow, by the way, guys, this is actually somewhat shorter than my usual videos, I think. No, it's not too much, right? It's been about 40 minutes. Okay, let's go. We should have a Delirium mirror somewhere. Okay, we do here. Okay, so let me do the combo. I couldn't for some reason. Okay, now I did. Oops. As you can see. Okay. See how chain becomes important, guys? It doesn't go on the right target. Sometimes. Okay. As you can see, it's mighty marvelous. That's why we want the area. Okay. You saw the range. It's spread out. Okay. I do convalescence to recharge my energy immediately. And as you can see, I have bleed right now on me, and I do not care. Ooh, that's... The spirit is giving me grief here. Let me show you the range, but I have to kill again, I think. Yeah, I was slow. Okay, so the range is 2.8 meters. .9 meters, sad. Okay, let's do the thing. Let's see if we can get that satisfactory thing. Guys, I'm not doing anything. Just running. No, it got broken. But it's so nice when it happens. Yeah, this one is not one of those times. Okay, we still have more enemies. Dang. That spirit gave me a lot of grief. I'm annoyed by that spirit. Still the spirit? Buddy, come on, you have traveled the entire map. Find the rare and get out of my way. You are getting on my nerves. There is a rare, possess it. I thought he fizzled. Oh, how I'm annoyed. How annoyed am I by that spirit. Oh, okay. Yeah, these maps are, I don't think, fit for spreading and not doing anything. As you can see, guys, we are pretty tanky, right? This could have gone much worse for another character. Convalescence is pretty useful. Okay. See the Arcane Surge on me? I generally have a rather nice uptime here. So I have a few more points that I want to get. I can get 16% more AoE, which should allow me to get to 3 meters. I'm not very sure if I would be able to go above 3, but I should definitely be able to get 3. That's why chain is important, guys. Imagine the guy I Contagion there, right? Whoa. If the Essence Train doesn't go on to that one, then you would have a problem. It's very nice, right? When it happens, I like it. Okay. And guys, normally I am not the best player, right? I do die quite a bit. But with this one, I think I haven't died since I have finalized the build at level 90. And of course, doesn't speak words, but still. You know, I would normally die a few times in between. Very nice, right? I love it. I refreshed it just once. And it's done. Shall I grab? Okay. It's time, I suppose. It's no big deal. Okay, is that the last one or do we have one more? We have one more, okay. I also skipped the breach. Okay, let's get to that one as well. Whoa. Hey. Okay, that's it. I didn't go over the skills very properly, did I? And you are observing that the energy shield starts off very quickly and it charges very quick, right? That's the first time I play like this, and guys, it's been a nice change of pace, right? I did play characters with energy shields, but you know, I was always on the default setting or something like that. Did I forget to do it? Oh, I did forget. It was the last, okay. So let's do the breach first. Yeah, when they first come at you, it can be a little bit annoying, but after that phase is over, it's nice. And it can spread very nicely, guys. Sometimes it goes very nice. It kills a lot of monsters with just one move. And as you can see, you know, even the rares are dying pretty fast. There is a 27, that's pretty low. There is a bit of a problem with blink. Yeah. So, no, I can't do it. Okay. So guys, sometimes it will bug. In this map, I have tried it a few times and I was surprised. You know, I couldn't blink, right? So, you know, sometimes things could go wrong. If you don't see the blink icon there, you know, you wouldn't be able to blink because, you know, there has been something wrong with Spirit, right? You have changed something, you have forgot to put it back on. That's natural. But sometimes, you know, in this map, you might have noticed that I had changed weapons a few times and I tried to blink, but I couldn't. Yeah, I mean, put it back on and off, I guess, is the thing that makes it go. Okay. Okay, we have a rare here. Oh no, we have a lot. Okay. So guys, take a look at this. I have the strong curse now, 42%, right? Let me go back to my main weapon. It immediately goes down to 24. I messed it up a little there. Okay, well, why are you? Immune body? That was a little bit messed up. Yeah, they added this boss later on, guys, so it does not function like the other bosses. Normal, you know, the bosses are a little bit more isolated. Okay. This one, it's garbage. Okay, so we do have a ritual altar that remains. And that's it for the map. Yep. Yeah, this is pretty satisfactory, guys. I haven't refreshed yet. This is a bit of a wide open area. And I had to do it 3 times by now. Yeah, 3 was enough. So yeah, guys, I thought that the boss wouldn't jump there. So as I said, the correct boss rotation is you put up your Sigil of Power, you then put down your tool. Why do I forget the name? Dark Effigies. Then you put up your Essence Drain, Contagion, and then you go back to the secondary weapon set with Despair, and then you wait your stuff to be timed out, then you go back and do it. But for map bosses, right, I would say just don't bother, right? As you can see at my, gear level, you can just do Sigil of Power, then, the double Dark Effigy, then the damage over times, and it will die in due time, because the problem with the Dark Effigy is its duration is not really very, very long. The Dark Effigy is 6.6 seconds, 6.3 seconds, and the Essence Drain is, around the same duration. So that will be, but against Pinnacle, of course, you would have to do it that way. Okay, now that we are done with the map, let's go over the skills again, and we can conclude this. So thankfully I had done the other videos, because this one was on par with the other stuff. Okay, guys, we start off with some spell damage. We then grab energy shield, etc. Right, more chaos damage, more duration. We go for a lot of energy shield stuff. We go for area. We go for a lot of area. The green points are meant for the secondary weapon set, and the red points are meant for the primary weapon set. This is pretty important, guys. You have to get yourself from nothing with Whispers of Doom, right? And that gives us access to very nice stuff. We can grab 1, 2, 3, and 4 skills without actually connecting them to our tree. It's beautiful. Keep it there in mind that this is a red skill point, right? It could drive you crazy if you don't notice it. So this is for the primary weapon set only, right? These 3 are for both, but this one is for that one only. We grab energy shield +1 max all res here. That's why I have 76 resistances. We go for a lot of chaos damage stuff. This is one of the reasons that we use low life, right? Faster start of energy shield recharge when not on full life, and this one 20% increased cast speed when on low life. This is extremely powerful, guys. So let me show you for comparison. This is a notable, right? 6%. This is a notable and gives you 6%. This gives us 20%. It's insanely good. That's why we can afford those low reduced casting speed thingies. We go for a lot of effects. So this increases our Arcane Surge effect, right? So that's how we can go for 300 mana regen while having this. And the only reason that we care about our life is to determine our mana regen, right? But it has to not be below like 1400 or so, or mana is going to become a problem. As you can see, we go for very high skill levels with low mana, so our regen is pretty important, right? That's why we go for this. And guys, if I level further, or if you have leveled further, these 3 are the next points, right? That's gonna give us 16% more AoE. That's what we go for at 94. The continuous spreading is extremely important. If you do not go for area of effect, your combo will fizzle, right? You will do the Contagion, you will do the Essence Drain, 5 enemies, 10 enemies will die, and the guys that are standing like 2.5 meters away will not get infected. So the combo going on is pretty important. So go for a lot of area of effect. And yeah, that's about it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I shall try to answer. And if we reach 50 likes, I will do a Mobalytics guide. I will remind you that the lightning speed is pretty close to 50 likes, so keep in mind. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.